Picnic was a 1955 soapy drama. It starred William Holden, Novak, Cliff Robertson, and Rosalind Russell. It was a decent film. It probably wasn't one of my favorite. It felt like watching a soap opera, but the picnic itself was actually pretty interesting, so I'll get to that in just a minute. So the plot is basically that William Holden's character is just kind of unemployed, ne'er-do-well. He hitches a ride on a train and shows up at this small town in Kansas to meet with his old buddy, Cliff Robertson, who they went to school together, I guess, back in the day. And William Holden just wants to get a job or something. So since there's not much to really do out in this Kansas town, he may get a job working in like a grain industry, hauling grains around or something like that. So that's sort of the gist of how the film starts. And as the two were talking, Cliff Robertson, by the way, Cliff Robertson, if you don't remember, he was Ben Parker from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy of films. And just as a side note, those Sam Raimi films are probably my favorite of the Spider-Man films. I'm not going to argue about why I think they're the best, but I think they're just truest in nature to the Spider-Man character, particularly the older classic Stan Lee Spider-Man. So anyhow, Cliff Robertson is going to try to help him get a job, and he invites William Holden to come along to the big Labor Day picnic that's taking place in town. So, as you can kind of expect would happen, William Holden goes to the picnic, they have a great time, there's games and there's food and stuff, but he falls for the wrong girl. And in this case, it's Novak, who is Cliff Robertson's girlfriend. Well, William Holden and Novak start dancing together, and as often happens in these films, even though the entirety of the film takes place in a span of 24 hours, they both fall madly in love, of course. And they're also about 15 years apart in age, which is a little icky. I'm always making a note of that in these films, but hey, that's what happened back in the 1950s, I guess. So basically, they're dancing, they fall in love, Novak wants to run off with him. And of course, Cliff Robertson is not too happy about that. And neither was I, really. You know, I thought that was pretty low for, William Holden shows up in town. His old buddy offers him a job, and then you turn around and steal his girl. That's not cool. So anyhow, that's kind of the gist of the film. Rosalind Russell from His Girl Friday, she is also in this film. She plays kind of a character who's a little bit of a kind of an uptight school teacher, a little strict, and then she has a few drinks and then she starts getting all crazy in the film. So that was a kind of a bizarre subplot. The small town scenery of this film was great. I really enjoyed just seeing kind of this old Midwestern Kansas setting. And the entirety of the film kind of felt like watching a play. I think it was based on a play, actually. And probably the neatest thing about this film was the actual picnic itself. I think of a picnic, I think, pick up some subs at Publix and go with the kids to the park or something. But this picnic was actually more of like a large community event where they had games, they had potato sack races, watermelon eating, pie contests, dancing, live music. I mean, it really looked pretty cool, but it was an interesting window into kind of the 1950s when big community events like that were more popular. So the film could more accurately be called Big Community Event in a Small Town instead of just Picnic, but I guess Picnic is an easier title. And it's interesting too, kind of in this era of COVID, a big event like this could probably not happen these days, but back in the 1950s, I guess it was kind of commonplace in these small towns. So in any case, that's Picnic. It's from 1955. Again, it's kind of a soapy drama. Not one of William Holden's greatest, but it was entertaining to see some of the big names. Now, on an unrelated topic, what are these tracks here? Couldn't be a bird because they're a little too big, but they do seem to continue if you look. There's another one, and there's another one. What are they? Did an alien spacecraft land somewhere here? Over in this vicinity? Who knows? What do you, the puppies, think? Do you have an opinion? No?